Hello to everyone who is joining us today from the UK and from the rest of the world. Hope everyone is having a great weekend and enjoying the Euro season. I'll quickly introduce myself once we are live. But my name is Shruti and I'm one of the co-founders at Novus. Hope everybody is having a great time. Today we are here to talk to a very special guest and for me to tell you a bit more about the Novus app as one of the co-founders. But thanks to our partnership with Visa, we are speaking to one of the greatest footballers in the UK, and I'm going to try and add her. It's none other than Kirby. So, Fran, hi.
Hiya.
Hi. It's great to meet you.
And you? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
So yeah, thanks to our partnership with Visa, I'll just quickly introduce yourself, Fran. But Fran is a Team Visa athlete and the Footballer of the Year 2021. So congratulations again, Fran, for winning that award and so many
Thank
other
you.
awards this year. What a great comeback. I'm feeling very privileged to speak to you today here. And it's my first Instagram live. So hopefully we will last through 15 minutes without any technical issues. Fingers crossed.
I'm not the best at technology either, so
No, so great. So thank you for joining today. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about your story and telling people a bit more about Novus. But assuming a lot of people listening here today are your fans, let's start with how has your day been? How has this week been? What are you working on? And again, congratulations for going to Olympics. I know you're busy training there.
yeah. So we've got a few days off now because we had a hard week in training. So I'm just at home, but obviously I'm still training a bit. So I went for a run earlier. Yeah, just chilling out, walking the dogs, doing anything to kind of just stay a bit more relaxed until we go back into camp on Monday to get ready and fully get going and out to Tokyo. So it's really exciting.
Nice, nice. And I know it's your birthday on Tuesday, so happy early birthday wishes from everybody
Thank
who
you.
is on the call. But yeah, great. So where should we get started? Shall I start quickly with us, just general guideline for the next 10, 15 minutes of what we're going to chat about, and then start there. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Great. So to introduce myself again, I don't think we have never met in person. So I'm one of the co-founders at Novus, and we have partnered with Visa to launch an app in the UK that's focused on creating impact from something as simple as payments on a day-to-day basis. So anybody can sign up to the app, get a sort code, account number, a debit card that you can use on your everyday purchases and generate rewards. Like different from other players out there, these rewards can be used for donating to causes which people care about, both social and environmental. And one of the cause there is obviously something that we both can relate to, and it's around women's rights. So today we will be touching on mostly that. And at Novus, we have partnered with a nonprofit called 𝙇𝙄𝙑𝙀, who will be integrated within our app. So somebody who is passionate about women's rights can donate to that nonprofit at no extra cost, just by us as a company sharing our economics. And what they work on is providing period products to people who are in refugee, asylum seeker, asylum, anybody who cannot afford it, because it's a basic human right, pretty much. So that has been kind of our partnership over there. But I would love to hear your thoughts on what does impact mean to you? What are the causes that you care about the most passionately? And let's start from there.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to it. I've done a little bit and I've read obviously all the things that you do about like the animals and protecting oceans and women's rights, and I love things like that. So yeah, it's really exciting to be on the call with you actually and speak to you about it.
Great, thank you, thank you. So yeah, and I have been doing some research of my own on you. So I know you have been a very big proponent on mental health and well-being, but obviously as a woman footballer, I think most people on this call who are like aspiring sports people and women, they will be able to relate to you how you have, struggled or not struggled but shined as a woman in a sport which is very male dominated. So yeah, I think I would love to hear your experiences so far.
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, I'm extremely lucky. I am always around some very, very strong and passionate women, obviously, in my job, and those who are very passionate in women's rights and women, equality, whether it's, within football or just within life. I think obviously like you said, I've grown up in a very male dominated sport. And there has been times when obviously you turn up to a game. I used to play against boys when I was younger, and they would point and laugh at you and kind of, make a joke that you're going to be playing against them. And then obviously they then realised that I could kind of play football a little bit. So that quickly changed. But yeah, I think obviously it's very prominent in sport, not just women's football in general, but I think, across all bases, whether that's you're in a boardroom, full of men, which is kind of what happens a lot. And then, just in sport and just in life. And I think, as we are getting better with women's rights and women's, equality, then it is slowly improving, but I know that there are still so many aspects that need to be better and that need to be focused on more, rather than, just thinking, okay, we've done our job now, we're accepted in this position. Obviously now for us, especially as women's footballers, we get to a stage maybe where we think, oh, should we be asking for more because we're so lucky with what we get? But actually, we are still fighting for those who are coming through the youth age groups, that they get the best that they can possibly get, and that's our job. So I think it's very similar across the whole board in terms of football life, and I think there's still a long way to go to make sure that that equality does reach that level.
Yeah, and I think one thing which is common across all industry is the pay gap and the pay divide. And I'm originally from India, where cricket is the religion, and it's the same state of women's cricket versus men's cricket. Like recently, like last month, there was a report published where men cricketers get paid 14 times of what women cricketers do, and it was just like crazy. Like, how can we let that divide be so huge? So in some ways, I'm kind of the more privileged one, because I work in tech, where we are still talking about it, but we are talking about more like 80 to 100 kind of ratio. So what is the state in football right now? And like, what do you feel like, why is still there's a huge divide of pay when it comes to sports?
I think it's a difficult one, because I think obviously for us, we are doing everything we can to, try and reduce that gap. But I think, when we look on a wider scheme of things, obviously a lot of the pay within football is to do with the marketing, it's to do with commercial, it's to do with sponsorship. And, as a women's team now, we are starting to get our own sponsorships, who are just purely wanting to sponsor the women, which is absolutely amazing. That's only going to help build, that gap to get smaller. But I think, within football is one of the biggest sports in the world, especially on the male side. So I think as we keep building, that media attention, more and more, like for us at Chelsea, our women's season tickets sold out yesterday for the first time ever. So we're taking the steps to get there, but I still think, there's still a bit to go in terms of, really reducing that. But I think, with all the big tournaments, obviously with the Olympics coming up now, it always gets a bigger buzz when there's a tournament, if it's World Cup, Euros, Olympics, and then, you see off the back of it that, it's building, and it kind of gets another buzz, and then you start to see more sales and more people buying shirts. And I think it just comes down to that part of it. But yeah, I mean, at Chelsea, we're really, really lucky with everything we get. Like, the facilities are amazing. I get to play with some of the best players in the world. So yeah, I think in terms of where I am, I'm extremely lucky. But I know that there is still a lot more to get to on that stepping stone.
Yeah, and there were a couple of questions actually that were posted on when we were promoting the interview today, that I thought would be good to talk about at this point. One is about how do you deal with like not being selected when you have worked really hard towards it as a sports person, not a sportsman. But the other question was, especially looking at the comments around women's sports in general, as a women's sports person, how do you feel when you see comments like women's sports will never get to by men mostly, women's sports will never get to the level of men's sports? Like, how do you deal with that as somebody who is trying to build a career? And I thought that would be a good question from your fans' side to tackle.
Yeah, I mean, some of it isn't nice when you read things, when you know that you're working extremely hard to get to the top level or to get to the best level. But I think for us now, we know that we are doing everything we can to change people's minds about women's sport. We are working extremely hard to do it. But also, you know, I think it's a difficult one, because for us, we just kind of are so used to it now that we just know that no matter what we do, we can't really change everyone's opinion. You can't change everyone when they are set in a certain way. So for us now, it's more, we try and focus on the ones, you know, the younger age groups coming through, that we can inspire them, so when they get older, you know, they are encouraging their children to, you know, get involved in women's sport, whether it's, you know, a male person wanting to get involved in women's football. You know, there's so many males out there who love women's football. It's not just, you know, females. And I think that's the biggest step that we are taking now, is we're trying to inspire the youth age groups to, you know, want to get behind women's football, want to get behind women's sport. And yeah, like I said, obviously sometimes you just have to scroll past it and just, you know, focus. You know, you could get 100 good messages about how amazing women's sport is, and you will always pick out the one that says no one cares, or, you know, get back in the kitchen, or whatever it is. You know, you always focus on that one. So it's trying to block out that, because there are so many people who actually care about women's rights, women's football, women's sports, and it's more investing a lot of more your energy into that, to maintaining that level of it.
Great. And going back to one of the things that I wanted to touch on was, you know, Novus as a company, like, we are built on driving impact, and we specifically focus on driving collective impact, because what we saw and what we experienced is, as individuals, when you are trying to make change, for example, like in this case, changing people's opinion, it feels like a massive issue on paper, but you have to start somewhere. So you start with a small step, and hopefully those small things add up to a big collective impact. And that's what is at the heart of Novus, that how can we make everybody's payments that they make on a day-to-day basis to start driving positive change across different causes. So in your field, like, for example, just getting more women into sports, or getting more youth into sports, like, what are some of those small steps that you are, you know, currently working on, or you see around you happening, right, that you can talk about?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously as I grew up, there wasn't many opportunities for young girls to go out there and find a girls' football team, or to be a part of a girls' football team. You know, it's probably 1 out of 25 boys' teams. You know, it was really, really small, and like, you either had to travel or you had to go to other places. So I think now you can see the opportunities that are arising. There's so many more young girls' football teams out there. And I remember when I was at Reading, I worked really hard in the foundation there to provide girls only football sessions, or girls lunchtime sessions at schools. And, you know, I just saw a massive increase in the girls that wanted to be involved. You know, when I first did, say, a soccer camp over the summer, I got maybe 15 to 20 girls, and by the time I was leaving, you know, it was up to 50, 60. So I think it's, as there's opportunities, young girls want to take the opportunities and they want to be there. But it's about creating a safe, you know, environment for them. It's about creating an environment where they're not judged because they're a female, because, you know, they maybe are less ability than someone else. It's about just creating that fun element and making them feel like they're valued in that environment. And I found that really positive when I was kind of coaching younger girls, was just making them enjoy it and just feel like they could be themselves in that situation.
No, that's great. And conscious of time, because we have 1 more minute left, and I wanted to make sure that at least I get a couple of questions that were in the comment section. So Ellie had asked, who are your best friends in the GB squad?
I mean, I think I get along with pretty much everyone. I'm quite easygoing, you know. I don't really stay around one kind of clique. But obviously, you know, I've got some of the Chelsea girls in there, Sophie, Carly, Millie. I tend to probably stick around with them a bit more just because I know them a bit better. But yeah, I'm quite easygoing. Like, I just, yeah, get on with everyone, really. I wouldn't say I have any specific ones that I go, oh, that's my kind of best friend in that environment.
Great. And in Chelsea specifically, and Soph had asked this, who is the biggest prankster on the team? You can't take your own name, but
I'd probably say Sam Kerr. She's quite, like, she likes to like take videos of people with the Snapchat filters and things like that. So I'd probably say her.
And the last one from Ella, which moment in your career has been the most memorable so far?
Well, I have quite a few, but I'd pick 2. My England debut which obviously I will remember for the rest of my life, and winning bronze at the World Cup in 2015. That was pretty special.
Great. Well, thank you, Fran, for spending time today with us from your busy schedule, and thank you to Visa for making this happen. It was lovely to speak to you, and for everybody who has joined, if you want to check out Novus and sign up, you can head to our page and give us a follow. We are in beta right now, so we are not live yet, but we are going to go live in the coming weeks. For every sign up, we are planting a tree, so feel free to go and sign up. But yeah, thanks again, Fran, for joining today.
No, thank you very much. It was lovely to kind of meet you.
Yes. Good luck with Olympics and everything that's coming up.
Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.